Seth, tell us the history of Camp Samoset.
I'm gonna pick up Samoset from when I started, and then CB is going to take over going backwards. But Camp Samoset was located in Casco, Maine, 04015, on Pleasant Lake. It was, by most camp standards, a pretty small camp with a huge lake, a beautiful waterfront. And I would think for me, that's what, well, it didn't attract me necessarily as a little kid, but definitely my parents sending me somewhere that I could swim in the summer and do competitive sports. CB, pick up and give the early history of camp, please.
Well, Camp Samoset 1 was actually in Guilford, New Hampshire, and it ran for about 30 years. And then Manny Winston got an offer he couldn't refuse to have not a camp, but just some sort of property there. And he decided to sell camp in 1968. And Steve Feinstein, who was the head counselor, wanted to keep camp going. And he actually rented a property in Maine, in Turner, Maine, for one summer. And then in 1969, Camp Brunonia was put on sale, and Foon and Steve Shatkin, the other director, bought Camp Samoset. And they went, and the first year of Camp Samoset 2, as it was called, started in 1970.
So, of course, what you have heard now twice out of Colin's mouth is Foon. So that's the beauty of camp, because anyone watching this that didn't go to Camp Samoset has no idea what that is, because camp is about nicknames sometimes. What's that about, guys?
Seth, if you can answer that question, good luck, because he's never really explained it to me anyway.
So his name was Steve Feinstein, correct?
Yeah.
And everybody called him Foon.
Most people didn't even know his name was Steve Feinstein.
Not only did everyone call him Foon at camp, but everyone's parents called him Foon. His license plate says Foon. My friends growing up, when I would refer to camp, they've never met him, but they all know the name Foon. His brother's name was Jeffrey, and he went by Fenton. There were so many nicknames at camp, and that's just, you only knew people by one name, whatever their nickname tended to be.
So Foon ran the camp. Basically, he bought Brunonia. Now, Brunonia was a very popular camp with kids from the Boston area, and had some pretty famous alumni go there. As a matter of fact, in my last visit to Samoset, in the back of the kitchen, holding up a wall, is the original Camp Brunonia sign that I actually have a picture of. Did you guys ever see that?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you make it through to the oldest at the time that I was a camper there, you become a waiter, and you get the luxury of paying camp. This is maybe the irony of camp. We would pay to go to camp to serve 3 meals a day the entire summer. And one of the unjoys of being a waiter was you got to do the hole, and that was the person that collected all the slop that came in from the meals. So you would have a day where you were really in the back of the kitchen, hence knowing ins and outs, the Brunonia sign and other things.
Right.
And I should add, you got $50 for the whole summer, and that your parents paid a lot for you to get $50, but somehow Foon pulled that off too. Take a woman